For most of her life, Doris Day was seen as the happiest woman in Hollywood. She smiled easily, sang beautifully, and made success look effortless. To fans, she represented comfort, optimism, and a kind of innocence that never seemed to fade. But behind that image was a life shaped by fear, betrayal, and long silence. For decades, she kept that reality hidden. Now, many years after her passing, pieces of the truth have finally surfaced. Doris Day was born Doris Mary and Kappelhoff on April 3, 1922, in Cincinnati, Ohio. She grew up in a modest working-class family. Her father was a music teacher, and her mother held the family together during difficult years, especially after her parents' divorce, something still deeply stigmatized at the time. From a young age, Doris was energetic and determined. At just 12 years old, she won a local contest by holding a handstand for more than 3 hours, earning free dance lessons. Dance quickly became her dream and her escape. That dream ended suddenly when she was 14. Just days before a planned trip to Hollywood, a train struck the car she was riding in. Her legs were crushed so badly that doctors feared she might never walk again. She spent more than a year confined to bed. During that time, music became her refuge. She listened to the radio constantly, sang along to Ella Fitzgerald records, and slowly realized her voice could carry her through pain when her body could not. By 15, she was earning small amounts singing locally. One night, bandleader Barney Rapp heard her perform and immediately recognized her talent. In 1939, he suggested she adopt a shorter stage name inspired by a song she often sang. That name was Doris Day. Within a year, her life changed again when she joined Les Brown's band in 1940. She was only 18 and terrified before her audition, shaking so badly she nearly collapsed backstage. Les Brown encouraged her personally. When she stepped on stage and sang "Embraceable You," the room fell silent. She was hired instantly. That success came alongside deep loss. Doris learned her brother had been killed in a car accident. Despite the devastation, she performed that same night. Her breakthrough came in 1945 with "Sentimental Journey." The song captured the emotion of soldiers returning home from war and became a massive hit, selling over 1 million copies. Doris had insisted on recording it despite resistance, proving early that she trusted her instincts even when others doubted her. Hollywood followed soon after. Discovered almost by accident, she landed her first film role in Romance on the High Seas in 1948. Nervous and inexperienced, she surprised everyone with her natural presence. The role launched her film career and secured a long studio contract. Through the 1950s, Doris became one of the most reliable stars in the industry. Musicals like The Pajama Game showcased her charm, while Love Me or Leave Me revealed a dramatic depth few expected. By the late 1950s and early 1960s, Doris Day was the most bankable actress in America. Films like Pillow Talk paired her with Rock Hudson and defined an era. She earned an Academy Award nomination and became known as the nation's favorite leading lady. Yet the pressure to always appear cheerful weighed heavily. Perfection was not optional. It was expected. Long before fame, however, Doris's private life had already been marked by trauma. At 17, she married musician Al Jordan despite her mother's warnings. Almost immediately, the marriage turned dangerous. Violent outbursts became frequent. During her pregnancy, the situation worsened. Doris survived only by remaining calm in moments of real fear. She eventually escaped the marriage, but the emotional damage never fully healed. Her second marriage, to George Weidler, began with hope but ended quickly. He struggled with her rising fame and left less than a year later, admitting he could not live in her shadow. Doris returned to Cincinnati with her young son, searching for stability. In 1951, she married Martin Melcher, believing she had finally found security. Instead, she entered another quiet betrayal. Behind the scenes, Melcher and his business partner mishandled and drained her finances. Doris trusted completely and asked no questions. When Melcher died suddenly in 1968, she discovered the truth. The fortune she believed secure was gone. She was left deeply in debt. Worse still, without her knowledge, Melcher had committed her to a television contract. Doris learned about the Doris Day show only weeks before production began. She had planned to retire from acting entirely. Instead, financial pressure forced her to continue. Though she smiled on screen, the experience broke something inside her. She later sued and won a settlement, but recovered only a fraction of what was lost. After the show ended in the early 1970s, Doris quietly stepped away from fame. In 1978, she devoted herself to animal welfare, founding what became the Doris Day Animal Foundation. Her work expanded globally, addressing animal overpopulation and influencing laws worldwide. In 2011, at age 89, she returned briefly to music with My Heart, an intimate album that touched millions. Her deepest bond was with her son Terry Melcher, a successful music producer. His death in 2004 devastated her. Afterward, Doris became increasingly isolated. She lived quietly on a ranch in Carmel, California, surrounded by animals, avoiding public life entirely. After her death in 2019, a painful truth emerged. Her grandson Ryan revealed they had been estranged for 14 years and that he learned of her passing through social media. Conflicting accounts followed. Some said attempts at reconnection were blocked. Others claimed invitations were ignored. The truth likely lies somewhere in between, shaped by distance, protection, and misunderstanding. Doris Day spent her life giving comfort to millions while carrying private pain few ever saw. Her silence was not weakness. It was survival. Behind Hollywood's brightest smile was a woman who endured loss, betrayal, and isolation, choosing kindness and compassion even when life gave her little reason to trust. That is the part of Doris Day's story that remained hidden for years,